Moving on to game number 3 and probably the game of the week, definitely in my household, but maybe across the league. It's the one that jumps out because it's the one that ended the 2024-25 season. As I remind everyone, and I touch my hat for our podcast listeners, my hat is a Super Bowl champion for the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, this is the Super Bowl rematch. Eagles, 1-point favorites in this one. The over-under does sit at 47. On the money line side of things, minus 120 for Philadelphia, plus 100. Pretty much even money for Kansas City. Not pretty much even money. It is even money at the moment, or at least when I put this together. This is a tough one. I don't like, I very rarely, I will never bet on my own team just because if my team loses, I don't want to lose twice. I'd rather have my heart lose a little bit rather than my heart and my wallet lose a little bit. So this could be an emotional hedge situation for me. And if you're not familiar with that is, that's just essentially me saying, hey, the Eagles should win this game. But if they don't, let me put a little bit of money on the other team on their plus number. And you know what? If I lose, at least I go get to buy some Chipotle or something, so that's how I'm kind of looking at this. I really do think Philadelphia is a better team, but Arrowhead is a tough place to play. This is going to be a team that probably had this game circled since the schedule came out. They will have a lot to prove after the ass whooping that they took at the hands of the Eagles. And make no mistake about it, it was an ass whooping. So I think the Chiefs come out, and I think this is a big opportunity for them to get some revenge. I kind of think of it very similar to where the Eagles were last year, or 2 years ago, when they came off of the Chiefs beating them in the Super Bowl and the Eagles went to Kansas City and got the win. I think the Eagles, that was a big game for them, a lot bigger for them than it was Kansas City. We might see the reverse here. So even money, Kansas City, I think, is the best way to go. Philadelphia, over under of 47. This is a tough one because I could see it going both ways. I could see this being a defensive battle. I could also see Mahomes and Hurts really getting after it, especially Mahomes. He has a lot to prove, or at least in my mind, I think he's got a lot to prove against this defense. I'm going to go with the under, though, because I still think even in the back of both of these teams' minds, they both expect to meet up in the Super Bowl. I think that's just kind of the way both these teams are looking at it. I'm going to go with the under. I think playbooks are maybe scaled back a little bit. You don't want to put too much on film, especially in front of these, especially a guy like Steve Spagnuolo. You don't want to go too crazy and give him a little inkling into what you're thinking. So give me the under 47, but I am not very confident about that. That is a very tough over-under line of 47. So staying in the NFC East, it is a intra-division matchup. And again, the Washington Commanders are playing in about 15 minutes on Thursday Night Football. So not talking about them this week. We'll get back to them next week. But the Giants heading to Dallas to face the Cowboys. Cowboys are going to be 6-point favorites in this one. The over-under sits at 44. On the money line side of things, the money line side of things, the Giants are plus 230 and Dallas is minus 280. I really thought the Giants were going to be had a little more in the tank heading against Washington. Excuse me, but at the end of the day, they were not even able to cover the spread. Really a bad performance from Russell Wilson. Unsure when we're going to see Jackson Dart, but I have to imagine the clock is ticking. I like Dallas here. I was impressed with what Dallas put together. I thought Dak Prescott may have I don't watch a whole lot of 60-minute Cowboy games, very rarely. And unfortunately, when I do, well, not unfortunately, but when I do, it's generally playoff games, and we all kind of know how that goes. So sometimes it's a little difficult. You look in the box score, Dak did this, and you go, oh, all right, pretty, average game. And if you do look at the box score of Dak Prescott, probably doesn't jump off the page, but the eye test, I thought he was absolutely incredible. But at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. We did even have what seems to be our yearly opening night weather delay that pushed the game, delayed the game for about an hour. And I think it really just kind of put a wet towel on a game that was so much fun. I mean, I think it was what, 21-20 at half. And so I think the over under was something like 46 and a half. And we had 41 in the first half. And we still stayed under. That just kind of shows you, again, everything kind of slowed down after that. The weather delay. And at the end of the day, the Eagles defense was able to kind of pull themselves together, get the job done. In this one, however, Dallas, I think, is going to take care of business. This will be their home opener. I think there is going to be a lot of emotion on the field. And I think Cowboy fans, while they're still upset about losing Micah Parsons, I think if you ask all of them, I think they would all say they were impressed with what they saw out of this team on Thursday. And I think they continue that here. Now, this probably a little bit of a trap game. Everyone is on Dallas here. Keep that in mind. But again, I'm not going to go against what I saw week one. Dallas, really good. The Giants, not so much. So give me Dallas -6. You know what? Give me a half a point. Let's just cover ourselves. -5.5. And then the over-under, I'm going to go under until the Giants prove to me that they can get 2 touchdowns on the board. It's going to be very difficult. And I do think the Giants defense is pretty darn good. Abdul Carter and company, I think, are going to be just fine early. I worry about them in late game situations just because they're probably going to be on the field a lot more than they should because of how bad the Giants offense is. So Dallas -5.5, gonna have to buy half a point there. And the over under, give me the under 44.